Greetings in the name of Yahuwah and his son Yahusha Mashiach. My name is Malak Shalomo. Today is the 9th of July 2024. It's 8:01 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to do a little technical analysis on the daily chart, the 1 hour chart, which has my weekly levels, and then I'll go down to the 5 minutes and start populating bookmap with my Camarilla levels and stuff like that. So it'll probably take me probably half an hour to complete this video, but let me just show this here. I have this announcement to make. All right, so this here is the Blue Jacket winner for June in Bookmap. So this is Bookmap's Discord. So I placed second in the Blue Jacket winners for June. So I won 1 month free Global Plus, right? So that was cool there. Really appreciate that. So they said that's not all though. A new joiner to the academy, Malak Shalomo Trading, has wowed us with his brilliant narrated breakdowns through replay mode. Check his video out here. 1 month of Global Plus is coming your way. Malak Shalomo Trading, congratulations. So, I really appreciate that, man. So thanks a lot to Bookmap for that. Let's see here. All right, so let's go over to the charts here. So this is the daily chart. Let's see. Right now, this was the monthly open candle right here on the 2nd. Actually, the 1st. This was the open candle. Had kind of like a kind of doji, kind of hammer candle right there, creating support from that consolidation we were in. So let's see, we had this test down here at the monthly pivot, TC, the top central monthly pivot. We pushed up here, we pushed through VWAP. So this white line is VWAP. This is the first upper deviation, red line. Darker red is the second upper deviation. And this copper line right here is the third upper deviation. So I use that to gauge the trend, right? So right now we're riding above the first upper deviation, which is a nice uptrend at the moment. We haven't, every time we touch the second upper deviation, we get a little pullback. So this candle here did not push up to the second upper deviation, which would have been 56.4625. So looking at some weakness probably developing there. This second candle right here on, well, today's candle didn't push up to the target I thought it would push up to, which was monthly floor R1. And also you can see that's second upper deviation right there as well. So monthly floor R1 was 56.75. Actually, yeah, 56.57, right? So let me just pull out this here. All right, so you can see that's monthly floor R1. That's the second upper deviation. This is the first upper deviation on VWAP. So we're still bullish, still riding above that nicely. So hopefully we could get a push up to hit this first bullish target of monthly floor R1, right? So then after that we would have a monthly Camarilla R4 at 56.7350. So all this here is resistance and the first bullish target. So we got to get some volume to push through these levels. All right, let's see here. We also have this, this was created today, the 3-month low volume node. So I have a volume profile that I set here. It's from the prior 3 months. So basically a quarterly volume point of control. So we have a high volume node here where this consolidation took place. So that's the high volume node at 55.33. right? So this low volume node up top here is 56.3550. So we got to start basically getting some activity up here to push us through. So this is signifying that there's low transactions up here at the moment. So we're getting that wicking out right there, kind of showing a little weakness. So let's see how that plays out. All right, we're gonna go down to the 1 hour chart now, and this is where I have my weekly levels like Camarilla, value area high, and floor pivots, right? So let's see, what do we have here? This is the 3-month low volume node, the quarterly low volume node right there, 5635 25. And basically we started off the week nicely. We did not touch the central pivot. This is the top central at 560250, so that's bullish, right? So anytime we don't touch that floor pivot at the open, that central pivot at the open, we're most likely bullish to the first floor pivot, R1, right? So we had that consolidation, popped up, had a little retest, popped up again, and now we're moving sideways. So last session, we basically moved sideways, had a little retest of the open here, right? So let's see, yesterday's high was well, today's high, which is going to be yesterday's high in the next session, is going to be 56.4575. And let's see, these are our targets right here. That's Camarilla R3 right there, and that's floor pivot R1. So floor pivot R1 on the weekly is at 56.75, which is basically the same as monthly floor R1. So that's going to be heavy resistance. I call that a copper top zone, where it's two levels, two different indicators are kind of coupling around the same area. So it creates like to me it's heavier resistance, because all right, people who are looking at Camarillas who may not be looking at floor pivots would be looking for resistance here, and also floor pivot traders will be looking for resistance here. So that's two set of players that would be looking for resistance right at this level. So looking for some resistance there. We haven't gotten up there yet. So, but that's like the first target. If we were to remain bullish, that's going to be my first target. And I have these anchored VWAPs from the prior week. But since we have 2 days in, now I'm going to update those VWAPs and bring them to the beginning of the week, because I like to have a little information from the prior week. So let's see here. I'm gonna start Sunday, right? And this is another anchored VWAP I have set from, let's see, that's May 31st. So that was a high volume. Let's see, where is that? Yeah. So that was a high volume occurrence right here. So we had like a little shakeout, a little dip right here, and it created high volume. So you can see the high volume there above everything else right there. Let me just point this out. So high volume, anchor the VWAP there, so we could see anything above this is remaining bullish. And let me show it right. So that VWAP right there, that anchored VWAP from that volume event is now at roughly 54.95.59, right? So it's just resting down there below previous week's low, which was 55.0275. And also on the weekly levels, we have a golden pivot zone right here with central pivot 55.8350 and Camarilla S3 at 55.8761. So I was looking for any weakness. We come back here and we're gonna get support right there. Well, we should get support right there because it's two pivot levels, two different kind of pivot levels that are support levels, right? We also have this weekly POC level from the market profile and the monthly value area high at this level as well. So this is strong support right here. We have monthly Camarilla R3 as well. So anything coming around this level here is gonna run into other time frame buyers who are gonna defend their positions. So let's see with the updated VWAP starting from Sunday's open. See we're riding above VWAP right here. VWAP is at 56.30, right? So we had some wicks below that, but we're basically riding above that, right? So you can see these tests down here coming down to VWAP on these candles. And I should have probably updated this earlier today in the session, so I could have had this kind of a better perception of where the volume average price was from the beginning of the session on Sunday, right? So this is good information here. So we're just basically testing VWAP. We're getting some rejection here at the first upper deviation. So you see that's exactly where the sellers are coming in. We had a little push up above that, didn't get to the second upper deviation, which is that line right there. It's now at 56.50.13. So we have to try and attack that again. First resistance is going to be this first upper deviation right here at 56.40.48. So I'm also noticing that we were curving up. Like if you notice on these levels, they had a slight curve up going into the session, but now they're kind of curving down. So when you look at that, you have to kind of interpret that as it's a covering of price. So it's increasing in resistance. So anything coming up to these levels now are going to run into some probably added resistance at these levels because the volume weighted average price is curving down, you know. So if they go against that, they could probably run into some resistance up here. Right. So looking out for this target right here. First target is going to be Camarilla R3. Actually, the first obstacle is going to be this first second upper deviation, 56.50. Right. So we're kind of where are we at in the ETH? We're at 56.34.75. So let's see. And actually, this is the first resistance here, which is going to be 5 points ahead at the first upper deviation, 56.40.50. And then another 15.25 points is going to be second upper deviation. So we got 15 points to run into some serious obstacles there. And to get up to Camarilla R3 from here on the weekly is going to take us 20.25 points. Right, so that should be easy work if the bulls are serious though. Excuse me, just sipping some tea. Let's see here. So now this is where I find these levels on the 5-minute chart to set in Bookmap. Now this I could actually do this via Cloud Notes, and I think let's see where I could do that. Where is it? Export chart data. But I gotta watch the video and kind of get familiar with how I could do that, right? Because when you export chart data, you could set it in Bookmap through Cloud Notes, and I think it updates automatically as well. So instead of me doing it manually like how I'm gonna do now, this is probably a better way to do it. So I gotta probably get that going. So let's set this right here. This is the overnight high so far. Right. I gotta put on the pivot levels to see the mid. Right, set the mid. and overnight low is gonna be here, right there. All right, so let me just throw on the volume profile so I could get yesterday's VPOC. So I'm gonna set that up there. All right, that's also, I'm also gonna move this down. This is overnight VPOC, so I'm gonna bring that down. Right, so we have a nice full profile from the prior session. So they really built out that right there. You know, I mean, that's a serious D-shaped volume profile right there. So let's see here. All right, could take that off. All right, so we're gonna start off with the value area high is at 56.3950. Right, so actually I mightn't do this on the video. This might be a little too long to do on the video. So 56.39.50. Yeah, that might take a little while. So let's see, I'm just gonna do a little technical analysis right here and see if I could find a trade setup. So this is value area high, 56.3950. So it's in a higher value relationship from the prior session. So this is also the POC level right here at let's see, where is it? 56.3725. So we opened here within the central pivot range. This is the floor pivot. Actually, let me just point this out as well and use the arrows. 56.33 is value area low. So we're pushing above value area low. So we're in value right now. We gotta push up to 56.3725. That's the POC. And then we got a breakout here to create new value from value area high at 56.3950. So it's looking good in the ETH. We have a nice bullish run up here. We had a little consolidation at the central pivot range, high volume breakout. Well, the volume is squinted right now because of the prior session. So let me just see if I could make some adjustments here. I think when you, yeah, it's still low volume. I won't get any pop-ups there, because usually when you scroll out, and this other volume here is gonna kind of make that look very minimal, you know. So it's still minimal volume. Well, it's the ETH Asian session, so it's usually like that. But looking at the candle, we can see that's a heavy volume breakout. Let's see, we had a retest right back here to central pivot on this candle right here, the 8 o'clock candle, 8:05. Small buy in response when it pushed up. I mean, small sell in response, and now the buyers got to take this up here. So waiting for the buyers to break out of 56.36, which is the bottom central pivot, that green line right there. Right, and then yesterday's VPOC. So there's a little resistance right here. We got value area high, POC, and yesterday's VPOC. So the buyers are looking like they're trying to take them on. And this is my quantum trading volume relative strength indicator. So you can see all of this was selling pressure right here. Now it's going into buying pressure. So the buyers are stepping up right there. I have this ATR indicator as well. So right now we're at 0.88 ticks every 5 minutes. Right, that's the average true range. So this is floor pivot R1 here on the daily, 56.50.75, which is kind of close to the monthly R1 as well. We got R2 at 56.55.50. So that's all of this here is a resistance level. And let's see here, I'm gonna throw on the Camellias. Right, so we have Camellia R3 up there. Did I throw on S3? Right, so it's an overlapping higher value relationship. Camarilla S3 moved up but didn't move above prior Camarilla R3. So overlapping higher value, moderately bullish setup. We have like a double pivot zone right there with BC and Camarilla R3 creating some resistance right now. So we got to get some heavy buyers to push through there. And let's see some right here. Take this off. Boom. And open this up. Right, so Camarilla R3 is at 56.3660. Right, so all of this right now is just a resistance area, right? Let's see. And let me throw on my VWAPs to see how VWAP is interacting with price right now. And that's also an anchored VWAP here, this light purple line. That's an anchored VWAP from session start, the ETH session start. So as you can see here, I use this as a gauge for bullishness as well. Everything is retesting VWAP and pushing up nicely. This first lower deviation green line right here is from the prior session, so that hasn't reset yet. So this is just continuing from the prior session. So we had basically like a little dip down to this first lower deviation, and we're getting buyers right there off of that as well. And this is VWAP from the prior session as well. So right now we're running into VWAP. We have nice initiative buyers going through VWAP, so they're not looking like they're scared, not too much rejection. We had this one doji candle right there at 8:05 p.m. and now we're taking on the VWAP again. So on this candle here at 8:15. So it's looking good. Still a little doji action right here, but that's understandable. This is prior sessions VWAP, so there would be some activity going on here. Let's see, move up this overnight high. So overnight high is now at BC 56.36. And let's see, I'm thinking we're going to open probably above Camarilla R3 tomorrow, and maybe above value area high if it continues, but usually we'll get like a little resistance right here at this is prior sessions first upper deviation, and you see it's in line with yesterday's VPOC. So that's gonna be a resistance level right there. This whole area right here, basically, you know. So let's see if we could get through there, or maybe we'll move sideways during the Asian session, and probably maybe a little retest to this level here, central pivot, and this low 3 month let me call it the quarterly. I should change that, quarterly low volume node. Probably get a retest here and maybe a little bounce, so we could catch a reversal here tomorrow from probably around central pivot 56.3450 to go long. And with the information I got so far, this is basically what I could come up with so far. If I were to try and take a trade right now, I'd probably want to take a trade here when we retested VWAP. So if I'm thinking about it now that I want to enter somewhere again, I would probably wait for like a retest maybe of the central pivot range 56.3450 and try and go long from there. So this would be my setup right there. Probably try and get to at least Camarilla R3, but that's only 2 points, so maybe value area high. So that'll be 5 points, risking, and just put that right below VWAP, so you could risk 1 point right there on this retest and go long from there. And that's not a trade recommendation, by the way. You know, I mean, I'm not a certified financial advisor. I can't give that kind of advice. This is just my opinion, you know. And I gotta start making some disclaimers to put up on my videos before I actually start narrating. So yeah, that's basically a little setup right there. But for tomorrow's session, looking to probably open strong, maybe above Camarilla R3 as well. If we don't break down from Camarilla R3, then we could get like a little breakout early in the RTH, maybe a retest, and then we could try and attack monthly floor R1, which is here. Right, so that's Camarilla R3, so a little breakout, a retest. That would be a nice little setup right there. And hopefully the lower VWAP is somewhere around Camarilla R3 as well. So mine's reset at 1 a.m. in the morning, which is this level right here I'm talking about, this green line. That's the lower deviation. That's where I created my Bowling Green strategy. So if this moves up, it's going to reset at 1 a.m. anyway. So if it's around this level, where we could get that retest after a breakout, and VWAP will be somewhere around this level. If this is playing out how I'm thinking, the first lower deviation will be around VWAP. We'll probably test VWAP somewhere above it, come back down, test this lower deviation, which will be up here at that time, and we could get like some nice buying up to our target. Yeah, man, and that's basically it. So right now I'm gonna just set my levels on Bookmap, my daily levels, all these levels here. I'm gonna set it on Bookmap and just prepare for tomorrow. Alright, y'all, so it's Malak Shalomo. Let's see how long this video was. This was 26, so not too bad. So a little technical analysis video. You can see how I think through these charts and the reason for the messy chart and all that, you know. So I hope it was useful. You don't have to use all these things I'm using. I'm just pointing out, like, you could use just Camarillas, you could use just market profile, you could just use VWAP if you want. I just like the correlation between these levels, you know. Alright, y'all, it's Malak Shalomo. Y'all trade safe and stay blessed.